Okay, so Percy Jackson is coming back for second season, which is exciting, I guess. I'm a fan of the books and stuff, but I mean, I think everyone expected that it would get renewed for another season. I'm pretty negative on the first season. I think it's pretty bad. But I have a few thoughts. I think, like, one, personally, just like the Sea of Monsters isn't as fun as the Lightning Thief. It's a lot of kind of like the same repetitive structure and feel, and I think, yeah, the Lightning Thief, the book does it better, and even just like in the full scale of the season, I think the Lightning Thief is one of the worst books. So this upcoming season is going to be tough, I think, to adapt because I think in the first season they struggled adapting the Lightning Thief. I also think that they better really hurry up and start production as soon as possible because these kids are aging fast. You already saw in like that first season, like Homie, Walker Scoble, like aged like 5 years from episode 1 to episode 8, and I also think because of the production timeline, like I don't think a lot of the feedback from the audience is gonna make it into the second season, and like even if it did, I don't think they're like open to like changing things for the better. It feels like everything that I've read from Rick Riordan about all the decisions that he's made, he feels like pretty much like, oh, like I'm gonna do this, and like this is why I did this, and like this is why I'm right, and like anyways, I don't know. Still, I think like I'm trying to go into like the second season with an open mind. Like I think Walker Scoble really grew into Percy more as the season went on. Like the writing for Percy as a character also improved as like we went along the episodes, and I'm also still holding out that like Leah Jeffries can like learn to act as Annabeth well, and like that like Rick mostly can like remember to write her as a character. Anyways, I had a lot of hatred for that first season, and there's like a bunch of low hanging fruit on like how to make the second season better, right? Like you can like have more episodes. Like we need that. We need more time with them. Like make the kids dumber. Like get better fight choreo. Actually establish the characters. Whatever. All that good stuff. Right. But I was like trying to think, like how would I go about improving the show? Right. It's like really hard because there's so many problems, like fundamental problems that I see in the series, and like I made a video on that. Anyways, if you want to go check that out. But if you're like writing a script, right, and your act 1 sucks, then your act 2 and act 3 are going to struggle and suffer because act 1 isn't that good foundation, right? So you're gonna have to rewrite act 1, right? And that's like what I would do for the Percy Jackson show, like if I was actually in charge of it. But season 1 is out there, it's set in stone, and basically like the foundation has already been set, even if it's a bad foundation. And I'm like not gonna try to change it. I'm not gonna try to do a whole rewrite on it, right? But I do think I have a little tiny idea that could help out a little bit. Like I don't think it's gonna solve any big problems, but I think it can save season 2 from being another boring slog that feels like uninspired and devoid of tension, right? So here's my pitch: add more narration. I think one of the best parts of the Percy Jackson series and like the Rick Riordan books as a whole is like the perspective, right? In the first series, we love Percy for his snark, for his relatability. Like he's got this goofy charm, and he messes up, but he's dumb about it, and he's like endearing in it. And in the second series, like the Prophecy of the Seven series, like the interesting part is seeing each of the Seven's different views on each other and different events and different things like that, and see how they all differ in that and like interact with one another, right? And I think in season 1 there's like some narration, but it's all like for drama. It's like, oh, to sound cool, and like I know they open up the first episode with like, oh look, I didn't want to be a demigod, like you didn't choose me or whatever. If like you think you're one, maybe like they are using it to like pay homage to the lines in the book, and it's only really used in the beginning. It's not really throughout anywhere else. And I think part of season 1's problem was that there was like just way too much exposition, not enough character moments and building, right? And like a big part of the problem, like they were coasting on our outside knowledge of the books, right? In a standalone show, like I think they did very little to make me like Percy, Annabeth, and Grover like in this show, right? Like it's all my knowledge and love for the books that keeps me watching, not like the actual craft, narrative, and tension of the Disney Plus show itself, right? So here's what I propose, right? Let's have maybe a married Percy and Annabeth narrate each episode. But let's like pretend that maybe Percy and Annabeth are telling the story of the first series to the kids, or to their old friends, or to Grover, or to Leo, or something. I don't know. And maybe like let's get a little bit meta, right? Like it's exactly what the audience is doing, right? They're comparing stuff to the book, seeing what they remembered, living in the full knowledge of what happens and who ends up together, right? So here, if an older Percy and Annabeth are narrating this, then we can infuse some of that genuine bond and banter between Annabeth and Percy. We can get like some exposition out of the way, and then we can get more insight into the heads of the characters, and also just since everyone kind of knows where we end up, we can use that to our advantage there. Like think about maybe like Lion King 1.5, but not as goofy. Like there could be some pauses and interjections, but we can also like let the more dramatic scenes play and go. And I think like obviously this would never happen. Like I don't think they would ever do this. Like I think they take the show way too seriously to take that creative risk. But I think it could be fun because right now they're just playing it. If they're playing it as a straight serious show with like all this like self-seriousness of like, oh, this is like a big prophecy and stuff, which like in the books, yes, that's exactly what it is. It's like a serious show with a lot of weight and stakes. But I think they're doing it in a way that like rips a lot of fun out of it. Like the adventure isn't there. Like all of the like obstacles that they face with like the first season, Krusty, Medusa, the Lotus Casino. Like, there's very little adventure in like trying to solve things out of it, right? Like they just kind of know what happens going into it, right? So I think having some narration and just giving Percy and Annabeth some more life and flavor and character could be interesting. I don't know. So maybe narration's the way to go. Who knows? Probably won't be that. So I don't know. We'll see. But we'll just have to wait for season 2. Hopefully it'll be better. We'll see.